The birth of the Amotekun Corps addressed some security challenges like kidnapping, farmers' herdsmen clashes, and highway robbery. It appears more is still required to keep the southwest state safe. Following attack on Omolege community, where a village head and 2 other persons were killed and several houses burnt. And then enraged Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu has vowed that the killer herdsmen behind the attack will be tracked down and punished. Meanwhile, the Miyetti Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria has raised an alarm over the invasion of Taraba Forest by fleeing Zamfara bandits who killed more than 40 local vigilance men in an ambush in Gassol Local Government Area of the state. The Northeast Zonal Vice Chairman of the association, Umar Damburam, called on the federal government to deploy fighter jets to the states before the situation gets out of control. Let's share the story with you, filed in by TVC News Owolabi Adenusi.
Miyetti Cattle Breeders Association in Taraba State mourned several members ambushed and killed by bandits. It has resulted in the Miyetti in the state forming a local vigilante group who will go into the forest to flush out the terrorists from their various camps. Their latest try was proved costly as vigilantes were ambushed by their targets. Leaders of Miyetti in an interview with TVC News, gave a vivid picture of what happened.
Our vigilante here, Vigilante of Taraba State Disciplinary Committee and that of Pulaku Association, went for a patrol in Gassol Local Government. They went there. Before they reach the area, there is an ambush by the armed bandit who have succeeded in killing and injuring a lot of our people. Nobody will tell you the actual number.
He explained that the killers were fleeing bandits from Zamfara who entered into the state through Plateau State. He urged the state government to come to their aid with logistics.
We are appealing for the federal government to be sincere, to be frank, and be Fulani man. These people from Zamfara have arrived at Taraba State. They are the one that fought with the Fulanis in Wase area, Kanang area of Plateau State. Now they have crossed over the river down to Taraba State. As far as they declare everyone that is carrying arm as a bandit, so the bandits are here in Taraba State. Something have to be done urgently.
The chairman of Vigilante in the state sympathized with the Fulani group, but appealed to them to join the Strength Vigilante group for proper training.
Honestly, they were not experienced vigilante. It's lack of experience. They don't have confident comeback to fight those terrorists.
The state police command confirmed the incident, but insisted that bandits have since been chased out of the state through the combined effort of security agencies.
Presently, I'm telling you, they are being pushed up to the boundary between Nigeria, Taraba and the Adamawa, that is through Tongo axis.
Miyetti and other groups have taken it upon themselves to flush out the bad elements among them since the emir of Muri Emirate raised the alarm. The relocation of Zamfara bandits to Taraba Forest is now increasing the rate of crime in the state, and Fulani groups, they are now taking the fight to the hideout of bandits in various forests in the state.
Let's start from Ondo State. This Omolege community, and the governor, in the southwest, I think Ondo and Amotekun is most active. Yeah. They've been up and doing and everything. And for this, I don't know what anybody is thinking about to still go to Ondo State to go and attack people.
It just shows how big the problem we face is. No doubt about it. There are killer headsmen everywhere. As you had the man that we interviewed after Ondo created the anti-grazing law, even they too, cattle breeders, the real cattle breeders, they are themselves victims of these killer herdsmen. The real cattle breeders themselves, yes, they may belong to the same tribe as the people killing them, but they too are victims. Ondo has done its best to keep the situation under control, but it is expected that occasionally this kind of combustions will happen that will involve loss of lives. Disagreement, we've not been able to address holistically the constant disagreement between herdsmen and farmers in our communities, whether in the south or in the north. This conflict between farmers and herdsmen who want to continue to raise cattle the old way, the traditional way, and see nothing wrong in unleashing cattle to feast on people's farmlands. I mean, there's no way to bring bad blood. And when people avenge the destruction of their farms, it leads to even greater violence. So that's what we have seen. The governor is saying that even these killer herdsmen fired at policemen, fired at Amotekun men. It shows that they are well armed, and it shows that if they are to be defeated, then concerted efforts must be made. You can't go into people's homes, people's community, and set their houses ablaze. You set them back, you ruin their lives. This is their stock in trade. And this is why people will view them with suspicion. Remember what happened in Igongon and the rest. We have relative calm now. Some people were saying, how come after Igboho was detained, no more conflict by killer herdsmen and all that? How about this? Are they blind that they cannot see that this one has happened and is the same killer herdsmen? No, so this has nothing to do with Sunday Igboho. Sunday Igboho played his own part to ensure that at least we keep our communities safe. At least he drew attention to the problem. It may not, his action and his conduct and even his utterances may have been irresponsible, but at least he drew attention to the problem. But the problem has not ended. So if you sit on social media and you are saying, oh, Shebi, we were having these attacks before, how come we are no longer having them? What happened in this community is to remind you that you are not current. These attacks are still happening, and they have nothing to do with the absence of Sunday Igboho. These attacks had been happening even before Sunday Igboho was born. You know? So this is the thing. We've got to address this problem. I appreciate the governor of Ondo State, his determination to get to the root of this problem. But there is a lot more that needs to be done. There was a colleague of mine who said Amotekun they should concentrate their efforts in the hinterland and not in the state capital, where they are now arresting people for traffic offenses and all that. There's a lot of work to do outside the state capital, and this is what we have seen. What happened now has clearly pointed us to the need to address the problem.
When you see this kind of problem, and we want to say, when Mr. President recently gave a kind of his own answer to this question, a lot of Nigerians were disappointed, still thinking that if Mr. President is still disconnected from the reality on ground, that he might not understand the enormity of the problem that these guys are facing.
Well, since the president spoke that way, states needs to take their own destiny in their own hands within the context of law that permits them to take certain actions. And I think that is what the governor of Ondo State and some other southwest states are doing, even southeast states too. We should not forget that the governor's convoy once came under armed attack when he was traveling from Ondo State to some communities. It was also in Ondo State that a first-class regional ruler was killed by some armed men.
Yes.
It was in Ondo State that Mrs. Arakuni, Mrs. Arakuni, daughter of Afenifere leader, was killed.
Yes.
So the corpse of these criminals, I think their cup is full. And we should not just think that this problem is peculiar to Ondo State alone. This was how this thing started in Niger State. Little, and then when you give them opportunity, give them an inch, they take a yard. Give them a yard, they take a mile. So if they can get a foothold in Ondo State, they will definitely have the opportunity to expand to the surrounding states. So the challenge Ondo State is facing is our collective responsibility. You know, the governor said they fled to Edo State. Maybe some fled to Ekiti State. And that brings into conversation the need for regional cooperation among the states, not just Ondo State alone. There is a need for them to do more training for Amotekun, because these elements are armed, AK-47 and all that. So it's our collective challenge, and we need to rise up to that occasion. I see a determined governor, a committed governor, that is, is really, out. Genuinely, he really wants to end the problem. And I think he deserves our support.
But Julie, we are still, if the person I refer to as our father, the number one man, if he doesn't understand the enmity of this thing, that means we still have a long way to go. Maybe we look forward to another administration to be able to, solve this problem.
No, he still thinks, he's an old man, and he still thinks that the old way is the right way, that lets people graze freely. Everyone knows that in terms of livestock production, we are nowhere near countries like Holland and the rest. The average cow in Nigeria, when it comes to milk production, is nowhere near what the average cow from Holland, the gallons of milk that the average cow from Holland can produce in a day. And it's not as if they are allowed to roam free like that. No. This was the way it started for everyone, but everyone has seen now that the right way is to have ranching. I expect the president to promote the cause of ranching. We are seeing states now building big ranches, Ruga, settlements and the rest, where everything that the cattle needs is already provided. The veterinary doctor, access to water, even the feed that they consume, everything, even ready-made market located close to the Ruga, so that their women don't need to carry calabash and be trekking several kilometers to find buyers for their milk. So we need to go the modern way, and I expect the president to be convinced that the modern way is still the best. Roaming cattle from north to south, they won't be big enough. I can tell you the elite in our country are the problem. The elite now have ranches. So some have ranches in Taraba, some have ranches in Nasarawa and different places. They know. They have some of them, but some of them will see nothing wrong in somebody traveling on foot with his cattle from Taraba to Lagos State. I mean, it's an antiquated way of cattle breeding, and we should embrace the modern method because it's safer. Even they too, that sometimes they get attacked by cattle rustlers, but if they are localized in an environment and there is security provided by government, there's no way that cattle rustler will enter where a place that is protected by armed federal security agencies and say he wants to come and steal people's cattle. At least I went to Kano and I saw how the Ruga settlement there, I saw how it was thriving. And the Fulanis there told me that, look, we have no plan to go anywhere else. This is where we want to stay. You know?
So what do you've done so many things on this. What do you think is the constant cause of this skirmish?
Well, I think we appear to see somewhere there are herdsmen and there are people who are criminals hiding under cattle rearing. Because we have seen people bring their cattle for centuries without coming down to the south with arms. But this idea of coming down, attacking people on their arms, killing them, setting houses ablaze, I think it's no longer about cattle rearing. These are pure acts of terror being unleashed on people. And they need to be treated, you know, with proportional measure. So, if you are talking about, you know, crisis between cattlemen and farmers, Babajide has said it, that all over the world, we have seen how people resolve this problem. And we are part of the global community. Restrict them to certain areas so that they can graze their cattle. But if you now say that there are people without borders, that they can go to any territory, every area is ungoverned region. There is no ungoverned region anywhere all over the world. There are people who own the land, who depend on the forest for their livelihood, for their health. The plants is the source of their health. They have sacred groves. There are some rivers, you are not even allowed to go there to go and fresh water. Some fishes, you can't even go and touch fishes in those sacred groups. Then you just come with your cattle and then roam the whole place, you know, they pollute the whole area. I think it's an assault on the spirituality of the people, apart from the fact that you are taking away their means of livelihood. And I don't think any community will accept that, any part of this country, not even in the north. Nobody will accept it. So we need to put a stop to it so that we can have some level of stability.
Let's go to this Taraba State now, and where we have this terrible situation on ground. And can you just tell us the genesis of the problem in Taraba State?
You know, on Saturday, the emir of Muri, Alhaji Abbas Tafida, issued a 30-day ultimatum.
Okay, I remember.
Yes. I think they were called the Bororo Fulani.
Yeah.
He said, see, you came to our community, we gave you piece of land. We allowed you to live with us. You then turned against us, kidnapping us, and making us to pay hefty ransom. You are raping our women. He said, they must fish out the bad eggs. He said, the good ones amongst them must fish out the bad eggs, otherwise he will kill everybody. That if after 30 days they don't fish them out, they will on their own go after those people and slaughter them. That's what he said in Hausa that day. So the police commissioner got involved. The so-called the Bororo Fulani exposed the criminals amongst their ranks. They handed them over to the police. Now, since that incident, the Miyetti Allah, who had been facing cattle rustling, who had been coming under attack from these same people, now decided to set up Vigilante group. That's Miyetti Allah. Nigerians don't know that there are two factions of Miyetti Allah, because even on social media, the kind of engagement, some are saying, oh, it's the same, they are the same as the criminals. You know, there is the Miyetti Allah Kaltahori. Those are the ones always asking for violence, always challenging peace-loving people. And that's a minute group. The mainstream Miyetti Allah,
I think it's just making...
The mainstream Miyetti Allah is not noisy. They are peace-loving. It is the other group because they have the capacity to make noise and they say things that people will go and see in the newspapers. And because we live in an age in which people don't even ask questions. So that counter hurry, because of the nuisance that they constitute, people tend to see them as the real Miyetti Allah. But they are not the real Miyetti Allah. Remember the meeting that Akeredolu called in Ondo State. The real Miyetti Allah people, the mainstream Miyetti Allah, they attended that meeting and they said they agreed with the governor. Remember that we interviewed one of the executive council members of the mainstream Miyetti Allah.
Yes.
So when people are saying, oh, so Miyetti Allah, oh, they attack Miyetti Allah, is good for them, they are the same people. No, you are making a mistake because you assume that Kautahore is the real Miyetti Allah, but it is just led by a noisemaker. They are not the real Miyetti Allah. Ungelzarma, my friend, is the secretary of the mainstream Miyetti Allah. It's from Yobe State. We know them. Those ones, they are cattle breeders. They want to focus on cattle breeding. But when criminals come to steal their cattle, criminals come, kill them, of course you know that at some point they too will have to respond. And their own response is to now form vigilante groups to go after these guys. They have succeeded largely in decimating their ranks. What we now found is a situation in which bandits now came all the way from Benue and Plateau State. I find it difficult to believe that they are from Zamfara. They came all the way from Benue and Plateau State, came into Taraba and were causing problems. They are these people now who ambushed this vigilante on their way to work and then killed 40 of them. And that's why they are saying, look, government needs to assist us. Everywhere that vigilante groups have been formed, whether in Niger or Kaduna or anywhere, bandits have always responded with anger. In fact, in Zamfara and Sokoto State, when they come into a community, they first find out whether they have vigilante. Those are the people that they will first go and kill. We have lost dozens of vigilantes in Niger State because they know that they are threats to them, so they first go and kill them. So if they want to continue, then they should realize that they will continue to face fire from these guys.
Well, now, could these bandits have really come all the way from Zamfara without being detected? How come there's the way they move and they carry out crimes for hours and they go back to their business? And
it's a whole lot of journey that runs into hundreds of kilometers. And even when after each attack, they retreat, go back and settle somewhere in large numbers. We have seen the visit of Sheikh Gumi, where he met them. They were in hundreds. So, and there are all sorts of cheap modern gadgets that you can use to detect carbon emission where there is human life through drones. Even universities have them. So it's a source of surprise that we want to claim that we don't understand the modus operandi of these violent organizations. I don't think we are committed to eliminating them. If we are really committed to eliminating them, it's not a task that cannot be fulfilled. They are not too. Sometimes you see them. They invade communities on bikes, and we say we cannot locate them and neutralize them. And each time we talk about killing about 20, 50, you hear they come up again. Nothing, So look at the case of Ondo State. When they enter that community, they killed some people. The security people came there to carry their dead bodies. 30 minutes after, they came back to that town. So I think we are deceiving ourselves. If we are really serious, I want to deal with these people. It's not a problem that we cannot tackle through using modern equipment.
We have joining us now is Alhaji Umar Damburam, is the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association in the Northeast, is the vice chairman of Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association. Thank you for joining us, Alhaji.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, can you please tell us the position of things now?
Everything is sound calm, but up to now there are some corpses that are not being taken away from that very forest where the hideouts of these criminals are in Gassol Local Government. But everything is now calm. What I want you people to know, these people have come to Taraba State without the notice of anybody. They are there like cattle rearers in the bush. But they organize themselves. They used to kidnap people in part of Gassol, Bali, and Gashaka local government. They have a network. We have come to understand that they have been communicating. In every day in Gassol local government, there must be 3, 4, 5 cases of kidnapping. Really, before they are coming, there is case of kidnapping, but we call that a local kidnapping because they will not demand the ransom that these people are demanding. These people have come demanding 20 million, 25 million, and people are paying part of Gassol local government. They even went to a mosque in Tella, Gassol local government, and do away with everybody that is praying morning prayer in the mosque last 2-3 weeks. You see, they have come with new tactics and new innovation to our people here. If we did not come out and fight them, at last our own children will turn to be that very serious kidnappers like they are. It's a new innovation that they brought to Taraba State. Really, we have been having this crisis of farmer herders crisis, everybody knows. But you used to at least curtail it from the root. But now these people have come with sophisticated weapons. Sophisticated weapons, they are still there, or they did not go. They are still there, but they did not attack any bullet up to now.
No.
And nothing has been done. There's not anything has been done. Up to now, they are in the bush. The neighboring communities to that forest, they have all run away. So people are running down to Gassol, where those that are in, even the Gassol, the headquarters of the chiefdom are in fear.
So the police have not, they've not made any effort to engage these armed men?
So these armed men, they are well armed. They have their sophisticated weapons. They used to share. The police commissioner have done his best. We have never had like the present commissioner of police, Shokoya. When he came, he organized this, our committee. He gave us attached policemen. They are with our vigilante in some areas closer to the forest. But they can't face this bandit. They are well armed.
Now, let's talk about the ultimatum that the Emir of Muri issued on Saturday. What progress has been made since the Emir?
A lot of progress. We have never seen a magic like the pronouncement of the Emir that the Fulani should bring back X amount them out. Since then, up to today, I challenge everyone that have a contrary story like my own now to come out and challenge me. The Jalingo local government, part of Artokola, most of the local government in Taraba State, these criminals are being wiped out there. There is nothing like kidnapping now in Taraba State. A lot of them have been repented, and a lot of them has been arrested and handed over to the police. Now they are facing their charges in the court of law. We have 37 officially, those are being remanded in custody. We have recovered a lot of weapons. We take the call of the Emir of Muri as a awakening call. We took it as a magic because it have worked better than any system of security in Taraba State.
Now that your vigilante units have been crushed in this manner and they don't have the weapons to confront these guys, what is the next line of action? Will you simply raise your hand and surrender, or what?
We can't surrender to them. We should not give our land to the terrorists. We will face them. We are organizing. We will be meeting with our commissioner of police tomorrow, Monday. Then we will see if we can go together with mobile police. We will face them. We will not allow them to take away our land from them, from us. This is where we are. This is where what we have. We will not allow terrorists to destabilize Taraba State as they have succeeded in Niger, Kebbi, and Zamfara. We can't allow them here.
So what's your message to your colleagues in the Mark Ban.
Yes. The leadership of Miyetti Allah in the whole country, I'm appealing to them and other Fulani organizations should form the same committee, disciplinary committee, to make sure that the way of criminals among us. These things have tarnished the image of a typical cattle rearer in Nigeria. We have to wipe out criminals among us. Whether we like it or not, we have some criminal elements among us like this in every tribe in this country.
Yes.
We have to come together and make sure that we live in peace with our neighbors and we have done away with these criminals.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have a question?
Oh, yeah, definitely you are.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
You appear to be doing a very good job to stabilize the country. We really thank you. Did you have an idea where these elements could be sourcing their arms? Because that seems to be the source of their strength.
It's a proliferation of firearms in Nigeria. If one tell you that he has the idea or he don't have the idea, all this is a story. We all know how proliferation of firearms from Libya and part of Niger have come to Nigeria. Everybody is aware.
Okay. I want to thank you, Alhaji Umar Damburam. Thank you so much. He's the Vice Chairman of Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association. Thank you in the Northeast. I want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you for your time.
You, sir.
All right. We'll go for this break. When we come back, we'll wrap.